Hey everybody, a little shop update. Had to pull the 57 out. Had to get the welder out, so good to see it out in the daylight. And here's the Suzuki so far. It kept having issues where the more it ran, it wouldn't want to hold an idle. And I think that carburetor is just, it's seen better days. It's been seeping a little bit. And the idle jet kept getting clogged, so instead of tearing everything apart each and every time I bought, this is the closest carburetor I could find. I found some of these on eBay, but I'm not spending $100 plus dollars on a 50-year-old carburetor that could have the same issues. And I spent $100 on the bike. So this was a $18 carburetor. You can see the difference in size and the flange size. So I'm gonna make this spacer out of steel. It's 1/4 inch thick. And basically the holes, I'm gonna oblong them. And then this is my plan, at least, unless somebody has a better suggestion. These studs, I'm gonna pull the studs out, and then I'm gonna leave a 1/4 inch, mark it, and then I'll take another 8mm stud and I'll grind, let's see, 2mm off of each side of the stud. Same on the other side, and then I'll get another stud and then weld that to it with also 2mm ground off. That way it's an offset stud to be able to fit that flange on the other carburetor. That's the best idea I could come up with, and hopefully that'll make it run a lot better. I mean, it had plenty of power at wide open throttle, but it wouldn't want to hold an idle the longer it ran. And another issue with this throttle deal here, cylinder, whatever you want to call it, on this style of carburetor, is this is your idle speed. So it pulls up on this little rod right here, and that's connected to the bottom, so that will in turn raise this slide up. And that thing was bent, so I ended up pulling it apart. I straightened it out, but the throttle still stuck a little bit. So the other style carburetor, it has this big knob on the side, and that actually pushes up on that throttle slide or cylinder in there, whatever you want to call it. And that other choke might actually screw in here. I haven't messed with that yet, but this has a way heavier spring, so I shouldn't have to worry about it getting stuck at wide open throttle. And it was 18 bucks, so I'll give it a shot. What's it gonna lose? So that's that on the bike. Just been tooling around with that a little bit. Took the old Volksrad out today, ran her up and down the hill, and burnt some rubber, and had some fun. So good to get those suckers out every once in a while. Anyways, everybody, thanks for watching, thanks for subbing, and we'll get more on the motorcycle up here coming pretty soon. And I think after that I'm going to pull my 2058 stroker apart and start going through it, resealing it, and then putting that back in my bug, because man, I miss driving that, I tell you. And then I do want to change or modify the gas tank. The gas tank in it's the original tank, and I know that they sell bigger tanks for them now, so I'm thinking of getting a bigger tank and then finding one of those, I don't know if Phytech makes it or Holley or what, but find one of those universal in-tank fuel pump setups that have like the foam around the pickup, and then that way it's not trying to have the feed and return go into a T. That way it has its own return going to the tank. I won't have to run the fuel pump so low as far as the pulse width modulation in the Phytech. So I think that'll just be better all the way around. Then it can actually cycle the fuel. Yeah, get that poor old bug back out on the road. It's been sitting here for too long. And yeah, I also want to add an oil cooler too while it's apart. That'll be as simple as making a few lines and a few mounts. And the temperature of the oil, I think the max it got up to was like maybe 260 when I was pushing it really hard coming back from Lake Easton, doing about 90 to 100 miles an hour with it for a good 5 miles. So, I mean, it's not bad. It averaged around 230 to 240 if I was pushing it. So, I say that that's not too bad for all the extra horsepower and the size of the engine. So, anyhow, appreciate everybody watching, and thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. We'll catch you guys on the flip side.